With spring training about a month away, it's a good time to revisit where we are with the MLB lockout and CBA negotiations.
Absolutely nowhere.
No, wait. There's actually been a new development. ESPN's Jeff Passan reported today that the two sides, MLB and the Players Association, plan to hold a bargaining session Thursday, which, if it happens, will be the first time they've talked since December 2nd. So let's rewind a bit and recap where we are. First off, what is this lockout thing and why are we here? Well, back on December 1st at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time, the most recent collective bargaining agreement, also known as the CBA, expired. The CBA is the agreement between MLB and the Players Association that covers things like salary, arbitration, rule changes to the game, travel protocols, all of the big things and little things that affect the teams and individual players throughout a season. Now, in a perfect world, a new CBA would have been agreed to before the old CBA expired. But this isn't a perfect world. They couldn't agree to one, so when the CBA expired, MLB owners initiated a lockout, basically halting activity in the baseball world. Now, they say their reasoning for this is defensive, that they're vulnerable if they're operating without an agreement, and that the players could potentially go on strike during the season. The two sides also stopped talking, kind of like when you and your partner get into a fight and you give each other the silent treatment. Not that that's ever happened to me. A lockout means all off-season transactions are frozen, so there's no free agent signings, no trades, no communication at all between the team and the players. It also means there's no activity at team facilities. So, in the case of the Padres, they can't roll into Petco Park and get to know their new coaching staff or use the weight room or the cages to get some work in. Now, keep in mind that most players don't live in San Diego in the off-season. They go to their respective homes and they've got a workout regimen that gets them ready for spring training that they do there. But there are guys who do come into Petco Park and use the facilities or come in and out throughout the off-season. And there are a lot of coaches who go visit the players during the offseason to see how their training is going, and they're not allowed to do that either. There is technically not supposed to be any communication between the team and the players, although there might be a little. Now, the players who probably feel this the most are the guys who are rehabbing, coming back from injury, because they don't have access to the team's trainers or facilities anymore. And they're usually on a very strict regimen, trying to make sure that they dot all their I's and cross all their T's as they continue their protocol, so they can't use the team's physical therapists or all the tools and machines that you would usually find for therapy in a clubhouse. Mike Clevenger is a perfect example of this. He went from working with the trainers at Petco every day for the last year, rehabbing from a second Tommy John surgery, to now finding new alternatives. Also during the lockout, the league cannot use any player's name, image, or likeness, which is why the team rosters look like this, with all the photos removed and replaced with creepy gray silhouettes. And it's also why the MLB site mostly has articles about, well, baseball history. The reason for this, according to MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred, is to comply with federal labor law. Basically, since they're at a work stoppage, they can't make any money off of the players right now. This is the first MLB work stoppage since the 1994-95 season, and there is no telling how and when it's going to end. Yes, it's a good thing that the two sides are planning to talk right now, but we don't know what that means or how long it's going to take. There's a lot of issues and points of contention between these two parties, and there's definitely some animosity, which makes it impossible to try to figure out. Some of the CBA sticking points include competitive integrity or the issue of teams tanking, as well as service time manipulation and when a player should be allowed to reach free agency. These meetings could take days, they could take months. Who knows? Is it going to interrupt spring training? Maybe. Remember that players don't earn paychecks or service time until the actual regular season starts, and that's scheduled to kick off on March 31st of this year. But that's also when teams earn the bulk of their money as well during the regular season. So is it going to interrupt games being played and money being made? Maybe, but probably not. Both sides have a lot to lose in that situation, which is the motivation for getting a CBA signed before then. Now, that being said, could it interrupt the regular season? Could it force games to be postponed or a season not to happen? I don't have a crystal ball. It is possible. It could happen. But for now, We're just going to have to wait and see. And in the meantime, enjoy your baseball history.